So it says Yotza, he left his kavod, left his chuso. That when he left, then the people, the spiritual, that's a medrash, the spirituality, medrash the or the medrash rabba, that when he left, so then his dukuna, his the community lost a lot of. You know what I gotta find it. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, the Chorana, Lom Hisker Yotziyaso, Elomagid Yitziyot Tzadik Min Amokom Oyser Roshim. Shizman Shat Tzadik Bier, Hu Hoida, Hu Ziva, Hu Hodra, Yotze Misham, Pona Hoida, Pona Ziva, Pona Hodra. In other words, there's definitely saying V'chein Barus, to bring a raya from Rus. There's Mamokom, Hoima Nomi Barus. Rashi's the reason why they bring a raya from Rus to tell us that factors at tzaddik. So we see that what? That a person being a makom is supposed to have an effect and take care of the area. When the tzaddik goes away, so the area becomes a little less. I heard from Rabbi, so I mentioned she was leaving, affects us, blah blah. Okay. I heard from Rabbi Beit Vagan, the head of the Yeshiva there. He said that what makes a community Yeshiva Ketana? When you have Yeshiva Ketana, so that keeps the community. Like by what made Beit Vagan, the Chaydim Beit Vagan. Rabbi Lochter said that. He brought a raya when he gave a speech of when he opened up his school. That's before Beit Vagan being Beit Vagan. What really built Beit Vagan was that. So really, it's supposed to be that if you learn Torah and you're a Torah guy, it's supposed to affect the community and affect people now. And it's supposed to be a very positive Torah. It's supposed to have a positive force. When you learn Torah here, the Chofetz Chaim says it affects the soldiers in Russia. Winning the war, we learn Torah here affects the Jewish soldiers there. So that's why we say when we learn Torah, protect the nation, because the Torah protects, this protects. Torah has a tremendous amount of power. But with all that, with all the protection of Torah and all the positiveness of tzaddikim, learning Torah and being around Torah, being in an area, still there's halachas of that. You have a house, you're not supposed to have domim. You have a mezuzah on the door and God is showing me your house, you have a mezuzah, so why do you have to take away domim b'beisecha? You have a mezuzah on the door. You have Torah learning at night, so why do you have to worry? The answer is simply that your person is about piteva. If you are piteva, so you do as much as you can yourself, and now what you can't do, then the Torah has that power, but not to do what you have to do and just rely upon the Torah. Okay, Shomei Psoim Hashem helps Psoim. That's people who are not exactly too sensitive to the situation. Psoim, and Shomei Psoim Hashem. Okay, Hashem protects everybody. I just got to say, I have to thank Hashem that Yeshiva's conditions, years we've been terribly below the standard of sanitary conditions of the Misrad HaBriyah, and Hashem protected us. Then all these years, of 34 years, we really never had an epidemic of these type of things that come from it. We never really had. And Hashem was Shem Hashem, and many things that we have, and many things that are done. Now, Hashem puts us a little more in the teva, and we see that Hashem wants to protect us. We don't do it ourselves, but Hashem protects us. We have the Yeshiva now is one of the 18 communities that is boded, where the army is going to put a little more kayach. We want to thank Hashem for that. And thank God, Hashem, we do our Torah learning, and Hashem sends certain protection that we can't do ourselves. We take our learning out and run around, and what do we know about anything? So Hashem protects our community with. Now we're part of the 18. At least there'll be some money that we'll be able to have. Or they can't complain, or something will happen with us. A little more than was before for protection in the Yeshiva. So we do our job. There's certain things that, like Talmidach, that you yourself have to do, which you can do. There's certain things you rely upon HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have to do. Over there we're going to get more protection. But it works that which you have to do, you have to do that which you can't do, Hashem has to send us. And there's a certain part, Shemim P'sam Hashem, where because we're Pesis, or Hashem takes care of us. Like Rabbi Akiva, there was a wedding, and all of a sudden there was the girl gave tzedakah, and then all of a sudden they found out that the snake was supposed to was killed by somebody. So Hashem protects us all the time. We don't know all the nisim the floors Hashem does to protect us. We do our job. Hashem has all these nisim to protect us, but that's lamala min ateva. Apiteva, there's certain parts you must do yourself. Until now, basically, my focus was only in my talmidim, the families and etc., or the children. We worked around a little bit. Never really decided to build. When we started the yeshiva and we went even made some, my whole purpose was not to have a community. My purpose was to have Torah. And the Mela community was built. They didn't go to build a yeshiva in the Mela and by Mela have boys to learn Torah. And Mela we have a yeshiva. And Mela we got to do what we can. So there's been a lot of neglect maybe on the caring about or having any relationship with the children, the future generation. And because of that, we have a lot of strangling things. We do a little bit, but not to put our koiches into what to do. And similarly in Tziyon, and therefore there's a vacuum. And the kids haven't learned my education or what I teach or what should be. They hear from the parents, and some parents are not mishulam complete, and some are better, different ideas. They never got involved in it because I was interested in. My goal was basically to take care of the parents, not even the parents, just the husbands, the wives like a worker. And those that come, we do. Those that don't. A lot of wives don't even know I exist, don't even know my name, don't know who I am even. And I try to stay away, because I would advise my Rosh Yeshiva, may you live long, that maybe before marriage I got involved with wives, and once they're married, I try my best not to be involved, because you never know how you affect Shalom Bayis, what you do. So I found Rosh Yeshiva's way. I found Rosh Yeshiva's way that once a week I teach the girls, no more. That was Rosh Yeshiva's advice. So I listen to Chachamim, believe it or not, some people don't believe me, but believe it or not, I listen to Chachamim, I asked advice from Chachamim. I followed Das Torah Chachamim. A certain matzofim came up that I'm now changing my policy a little bit. And I got to get involved with I already started in the yeshiva to get involved with the girls, get involved with the community a little bit more, and the people. And the similar thing in Tziyon, I have to get involved with the community per se. I have to see to it that I look at it as a shchuna, and therefore we have to have that in the area. We have to have the kids should not be floating at night, should stay in the house, and we should have chugim and things for them to do. Because when there's a vacuum, then things happen in a vacuum. Same thing in the issue. When the vacuum happens, or certain parents who don't take responsibility, don't take kids, and the kids float, and therefore we get a lot of slack and a lot of problems from the schools, and we can get a good name or a bad name with certain children. Okay. So until now, we didn't. The community was alone. We're left alone now. I believe that. That Vayeshiv Yaakov Betzrov, that there's a need to again build up the care, concern, or methods for the youth. Basically, that you have to see that the kids on the mountain, for example, don't at a certain hour, let's say 7, they should be in the home. Parents have to watch the kids, and then we got to see that there's chugim in the community. And either the community itself here makes chugim, or we help bring some people in to make chugim. And the same thing is the girls and the boys of the yishuv. I can't have one night and I see 5, 6 girls from the yishuv hanging around the old city in Har Tziyon for some reason. Where the parents with the kids. Or whatever it may be. Or we find girls leaving school earlier for some reason. So usually it's just the parents check and balance. But I'm changing my position basically to be more actively involved and see that there are tikkunim made in order that there shouldn't be any purchases, in order that the education we put into the kids has a kiyum. Not just we put the education in the kids and rely upon their parents, and then rely upon the street was supposed to be whatever the street is, and when the parents don't watch the street and they blame the street when really the street is part of the street is the parents, what they do, what they think, and how they react. But other Rabbi, we have to, the Yeshiva and myself personally have to take a more active part to see that the streets are clean and there's activities, and there's no hefkeris going around in the streets. Streets means in the Yeshiva or in Har Tziyon in our communities. And therefore, I hope in Mirz Hashem that Hashem is Megala the Pirtzes and we're able to make those Tapa Tikkunim for that. And the Schus HaTorah we have, again, will help those places that we can't control, that can't do Shem Yibsam Hashem. And the rest will try to make what we can do to correct. I just want to mention that although we take things lightly and nobody feels, and I'm not scaring nobody, what's going to happen in Iraq? So we say, Iraq over there, nothing's going to happen here. It makes no difference if it'll happen or not happen. We're not talking about, yes, man. I mean, what is the message Hashem saying? There's a possibility that something bad can happen, which means that, in the sense, until now, nobody worried about it. You're safe. All of a sudden now you know you're not safe. What does not safe mean? A possibility. I don't say it's a probability, it's a possibility. What it means in our terms, in religious terms, that God's telling us, shape up. Shape up. That's what it is. And the same thing is, if we have to have more shmir in the place, that means in spirit we need more shmir. There's physical shmir and there's a spiritual shmir. We need more spiritual shmir. And all Eretz Yisrael Bechlal is whatever it's happening here. And I think a good thing is that the world realizes that, or the Eretz Yisrael realize, as it's coming on the radio, they're really worried about the religious people. And that the 50% don't care. They say, what are we going to do anyway? But there is a big achuz. On the other 50 who do care, you have 2 camps. You have the religious camp and the anti-religious camp, which is, again, a big fight. The religious camp is quite much stronger than the left, and they admit it already on the radio. The left is much weaker, but the left is getting stronger. They're solidifying. That's really the prophecy of Moshe Mashiach, that you'll have religious and non-religious fighting, rather than in between. And the religious have become super strong. This is the general all, nothing to do with Har Tziyon or the Yishuv, talking about in general of Eretz Yisrael Bechlal. So there's a need for tshuva, a need for change, a need for another more care and concern of how we're going to handle things, what we do. That's what I really want to say. Everything is a gila, what to do and how to do. And I hope that I'll get some families here, people with their children volunteer to help in this community in Har Tziyon, to get some people to have classes for the girls and for the boys, or activities. And the same thing the issue. We're going to have a little more stricter supervision for the girls and boys of all ages, and they need more hashgacha. And we're going to try to bring in, like yesterday, Min HaShamayim, I met Rabbi Schulsinger in Romania there, and he was very impressed by myself and whatever was there. I talked to him and learning a lot, and he decided to see what Har Tziyon's about that I'm talking about. he came, he was very happy, and he held his Amakim Torah, very impressed, and he wants to come back again. He said, Rabbi, hire me, and I'll be here all the time. But that's no joke, he said it seriously, because he has, in his yeshiva, what does he have? He has a kollel of a few guys who come in from, he pays good money. yeah, but he has rich people, but so what? These guys can fly, have their own private jets, they fly here anytime you want. They have no problems coming here. But he has a kollel there, and he really sits and learns himself. He doesn't have much to do. So this is, for him, a challenge and excitement. He wants excitement, wants challenge. And usually kollel guys are not challenging. They listen, they get their money, and they shake their head a few kashas. But if you don't get paid by him, if you want to know what's the source, what's the raya, maybe there's another place, you're not afraid. But that was a very positive, good thing what happened. And Yirtz Hashem, I hope here will bring more people in. But also in Yirtz Hashem, I hope that that in the Yeshiva I want to bring people, to big rabbis for tznius and for hashkafas for the girls and the boys and the parents also, and here also to use the tzibur, which I haven't used until now, to help in our eyes to appreciate what we have by them telling us what we have rather than we think what we don't have, and with our eyes, our small eyes, and I mean, I repeat again, I don't want to repeat again. Rabbi Elephant Zamumche, who's been around quite a lot, and he doesn't have a nice word to say about a lot of people, says very good things about our kids in Yeshiva Mesa. And we talked to him, if his health gets a little better, he's ready to build Yeshiva Ketana in Mesa. He has no children. He has Reshet of Mesorah, of 1,000 kids he supports and is involved with. And he's ready to put his kech. He holds we have good material. You don't believe our kids are bad and no good. But compared to the other kids in the world, don't be surprised that we got good quality. We don't know the real problems. How come in Yeshiva Ketanas they don't, when Rav Shach says they shouldn't be dormitories? How come? How come, gentlemen? How come? How come? We're talking about Bnei Brak, we're not talking about. How come? And from homes we're talking about. Not so simple. The grass is always green on the other side. We have a lot to offer, we have good things, and Torah only grows and gets better and better. Remember that. And people grow, unless they don't do the things right. You don't follow the formulas, of course things don't go right. You follow the formulas, things go right. They don't look so good, eventually it comes down. Anyway, Kol Man Dover Rachmanu L'Tav Ovid, and we're going forward, and Yagdil Torah V'Yadir, and I hope in Yirtz Hashem, what I say I can Makayim. We have ways and means already to have it happen, and in Yirtz Hashem, I have a schus and a shamayim that we're able to do it, and make those proper things that we want to make, and should give us the bracha for it.